Hey guys, it's Jenny. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. I am here for Tackle My TBR Shelf, so let's get started. Last week, I didn't do as well as I did the week before, but I still did okay. I ended up finishing Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier. This is book number 2 in the Precious Stone trilogy, not the Precious Gem trilogy. And it was a step up from Ruby Red, like a half star up. I'm seeing Gwyneth evolve a little bit more. She's being a little bit more forward. She's standing up for herself a little bit more. But she still lets people get the better of her, and that just really bothers me with female protagonists in books. And I know, she's 16, and that could be part of it. She's written well for a 16-year-old. And like I told you before, when I first started Ruby Red, it does seem to be aimed more towards like a middle grade audience than a YA audience. So that could explain that part. She's only 16. And there were some questions that were answered, and then more questions are just brought up. And some of these questions that I have are pretty legitimate questions, things that I really want to know and haven't been answered yet. So anyway, I ended up rating this 3.5 stars. It was still very fluid. The writing style is very easy. It's just it's still lacking that drama. I guess most of the drama we're getting is from Charlotte, who is her cousin, but that's not really anything all that exciting happening. So yeah, that Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier, 3.5 stars. I decided I was going to go ahead and pick up the last book to this trilogy. I might as well, so I can check off another one for the year. So I did pick up Emerald Green. This one was more like it. The issue that I had with it the most is the fact that it took 300 pages and a third book in the trilogy to really get remotely exciting. But it did, and it wrapped up nicely. I have to give her credit for that. It did wrap up nicely. All of my questions were answered, even those ones that I thought to be the more important ones. Again, the writing very fluid. There's some good quotes in here and things to reflect back on and to remember. Gwyneth stepped up a little bit more, but she never really became that heroine that everybody loves to love. I think she just remained that 16-year-old girl. And, she's 16, so you have to take that into consideration. And maybe that's what the author was doing there with that. But it really wrapped up nicely. After 300 pages, it just took off. Excitement, things happening, questions answered. I did end up getting this 4 stars because of that. And I was glad that it wrapped up the way it did. It made me very happy. So the next book I was trying to read and I picked up was Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. And I believe I picked this up when I first picked up maybe Emerald Green, or maybe at the end of Sapphire Blue. I don't remember. I haven't even listed this yet on Goodreads because, guys, this font is done at an 8. The smallest font possible, and it's a big book. It's over 700 pages, and I just haven't done anything else with it. I am now on page 25, so I picked up like 8 pages, but you guys, I don't know. This is going to be one of those books that you read a chapter or 2 a day, because it's just a strain to try to read it because of how small this font is. I mean, when you use the font, the smallest font you can go, the smallest number in a book, you can understand that. So, you go to your little word pads and put in an 8 and type something, and that's how small this font is. It's ridiculous. I feel like it's going to be a good book. I really feel like it's going to be a good book. I just don't know if I have the time to sit down and really focus on this one because it is so big. And I'm generally not scared of big books. I love big books. But I like big books with, just kidding. But I like them with larger font than what is in this. The normal font is about a 12, and this is not even close to that. But in this book, we actually have a mom with her son. Her husband had passed away. She was in a new relationship, and it's an abusive relationship. She escapes in the middle of the night with her son, and then they settle in. I want to say it's Minnesota, and then apparently her little boy disappears and comes back 6 days later, and things have changed. And I haven't gotten to the point of him disappearing. They're kind of settling in, and she's trying to, get a job, and she just got him into school and that kind of stuff. It's as far as I've gotten. I am going to keep trying to work on this. I'm not going to just stop reading it. It's a lot. It is a lot. It's one of those big heifer books. Yeah. And I am going to keep trying to read this. I haven't, like I said, I haven't listed on Goodreads or anything yet. Because I want to, get to a point where I feel like I'm going to actually be able to finish the book. So, there was that one. Also, I started yesterday, Misery by Stephen King. I have never read this. I watched the movie, but I never picked up the book. And I got this book from a used bookstore a long time ago, and it's just been sitting on my shelf. And seeing the movie, it kind of ruins, your thoughts. The movie came out in 1990. I watched it somewhere near that time. And I believe it was 3 or 4 years after the books came out that it became a movie. And I watched the movie. Therefore, I didn't read the book. I said, I watched the movie. I can wait on that. And I waited and waited and waited. And finally decided to pick this book up because I wanted something horror. I haven't read a lot of horror lately. And so this was the one I picked up. And hopefully this is going to go really fast. We've got things to do today, so we'll see. I'm only on page 11 right now, but I have a feeling it's going to go pretty quickly for me. So, that is Tackle My TBR Shelf, guys. I got 2 books read, started 2 other ones, which we'll see where that goes. I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go. But that is what I read last week. Let me know what you read last week, or if you've read any of these books that I showed you today, let me know what your thoughts are on those. But that is it for today, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.